They say salt is the silent killer. But what if there's something even worse, something you eat without even thinking about it? It's not just sitting on a shelf. It's hidden in your fridge, waiting for those moments when you're hungry for a quick bite. It seems harmless. It tastes good. But little by little, it could be wearing down the one thing keeping you alive: your heart. This isn't just about high blood pressure. This food triggers inflammation, clogs your arteries, and weakens your heart over time. And science has the evidence to prove it. But here's what's even more alarming. It's not just one food. There are 13 everyday items that could be damaging your heart and shaving years off your life without you realizing it. One of them is the worst of all. The question is, can you spot danger before it's too late? If you want to protect your heart, stay active, and live the life you love as you age, this is your chance to take control. In this video, I'll walk you through the 13 worst foods for your heart, backed by science. And at the very end, I'll reveal the #1 culprit, the one that could be silently working against you. This might just change the way you eat. More importantly, it could help you hold on to your health. So stick around. This could be the most important thing you hear today. Number 13, sugary drinks. If you think refined sugar is bad, imagine drinking it in liquid form day after day, in large amounts. Sugary drinks are among the most dangerous things you can put in your body if you care about your heart. We're talking about sodas, sweet teas, flavored juices, and even sports drinks. These are loaded with high fructose corn syrup and artificial sweeteners that overwhelm your system. Unlike solid foods, your body absorbs these drinks incredibly fast. That sudden sugar spike throws your insulin off balance and drives fat straight to your belly. And here's the thing: fructose, the main sweetener in many of these drinks, gets processed only in your liver. When you drink too much of it, the liver stores it as fat. Over time, that leads to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which not only damages your liver, but messes with how your body handles cholesterol. That's a straight path to heart disease. The danger doesn't stop there. Regularly drinking soda has been linked to heart attacks and stroke 7 in people who aren't overweight. Why? Because these drinks cause inflammation, raise blood pressure, and make your blood vessels stiff and less flexible. That's a triple threat to your heart. And if you think switching to diet soda makes it safer, think again. Those artificial sweeteners, they can disrupt your gut bacteria, increase insulin resistance, and still put your heart at risk. Don't be fooled by the healthy image of bottled juices either. Many of them contain just as much sugar as soda. That liquid sugar rush forces your heart to work harder, while your body struggles to bring blood sugar and insulin levels back into balance. If you want to take care of your heart, one of the simplest and most powerful things you can do is cut out these sugary drinks. Replace them with sparkling water and a slice of lemon, unsweetened tea, or fresh juice with no added sugar. Your heart will thank you for it. Number 12, hydrogenated vegetable oils. If you've ever spread margarine on toast, eaten packaged cookies, or grabbed something fried at a restaurant, chances are you've been consuming hydrogenated vegetable oils without even knowing it. These oils go through a chemical process called hydrogenation, which turns them into trans fats. And trans fats are among the worst things you can feed your heart. They raise bad cholesterol, lower the good kind, and speed up plaque buildup in your arteries. Over time, this causes inflammation in your blood vessels, making them stiff and harder for blood to move through. The result? Your heart has to work overtime, and that means a higher risk of high blood pressure, heart attacks, and strokes. The World Health Organization has made it clear there is no safe level of trans fat. They've urged countries to eliminate it entirely to prevent millions of cardiovascular deaths each year. Here's the real problem. Hydrogenated oils are hiding everywhere. From stuffed cookies to snack cakes, from ice cream to supermarket bread, many processed foods still contain small amounts of trans fat. Labels may claim zero trans fat, but the law allows trace amounts per serving. Those traces add up, and over time, they can take a serious toll. And it doesn't stop with hydrogenated oils. Even refined oils like soybean, canola, and corn oil can pose risks. These are often extracted from genetically modified seeds and processed in ways that make them unstable at high heat. When used for frying, they break down into harmful compounds that trigger inflammation in your body. And that constant inflammation? It's a key driver of atherosclerosis and other heart problems. So what can you do? Switch to heart-friendly alternatives. Extra virgin olive oil and cold-pressed coconut oil are natural options that don't promote inflammation and may even support cardiovascular health. And stay with me because the worst heart-harming food of all is still coming up later in this video. And trust me, you'll want to know what it is before your next trip to the grocery store. Number 11. Fried foods. A lot of people think the worst part of fried food is the extra salt, but the real danger runs deeper than that. Fried foods are loaded with saturated fats, and often contain trans fats too, both of which can seriously harm your arteries and raise your risk of heart disease. But here's what many people overlook. It's not just what you fry, it's how you fry it. When oil is overheated, it breaks down into toxic compounds that fuel inflammation and speed up cellular aging. And in restaurants or fast food chains, the same oil is used over and over again. By that point, it's no longer food, it's a chemical cocktail that your body struggles to process. Eating fried food regularly drives up your LDL cholesterol and triglyceride levels. It encourages fatty plaque buildup in your arteries, which slows circulation and raises your risk of heart attacks and strokes. On top of that, fried food is high in calories and low in nutrients. It promotes weight gain and contributes to metabolic syndrome, a dangerous cluster of conditions that includes obesity, insulin resistance, high blood pressure, and chronic inflammation. Each of those alone can hurt your heart. Together, they're a recipe for disaster. Ever notice how fried food makes you feel heavy or sluggish afterward? That's not just in your head. These fats are harder to digest, putting extra pressure on your liver and slowing your metabolism. Over time, this can disrupt your hunger hormones, causing cravings and overeating. And that makes it even harder to maintain a healthy weight as you get older. Fried foods may be tasty, but the toll they take on your heart, metabolism, and overall health simply isn't worth it. Number 10. Processed red meats. Processed red meat is one of those foods that feels hearty and familiar, but under the surface, it carries risks your heart can't afford to ignore. These meats are high in saturated fats, but that's just the beginning. They're also packed with nitrites and nitrous chemical preservatives used to enhance color and extend shelf life. The problem is, when consumed frequently, these compounds can convert into cancer-causing agents inside the body, and they've also been linked to an increased risk of cardiovascular disease. Regularly eating processed meat has been shown to raise LDL, or bad cholesterol, and promote fatty buildup inside the arteries, leading to blockages and putting pressure on the heart. Add in the high sodium content, and now you've got a combination that raises blood pressure and forces your heart to work harder than it should. Studies have found that people who frequently consume processed meats have a significantly higher risk of developing heart disease and even dying younger. But it's not just about salt and fat. The industrial methods used to make these meats often involve artificial flavors and chemical preservatives that promote inflammation throughout the body. And chronic inflammation, as we've seen, is one of the major contributors to heart attacks and strokes. Take bacon, for example. It's a breakfast favorite, but it's also loaded with saturated fat and sodium. And when you fry it at high heat, it can produce harmful compounds that damage cells and increase oxidative stress in your body. The result? a higher risk of degenerative diseases and heart problems. If you're serious about protecting your heart, consider healthier protein sources like eggs, fish, or lean white meats. They'll fuel your body without feeding the fire of inflammation. And stick around, we're getting closer to revealing the #1 worst food for your heart. You won't want to miss it. Number 9. Margarine and vegetable spreads. If you switched from butter to margarine thinking it was better for your heart, you might want to think again. For years, margarine was marketed as the heart-healthy alternative because it had less animal fat. But what many people didn't realize is that most versions of margarine, especially the older or cheaper ones, are packed with trans fats, some of the worst fats for your cardiovascular system. Trans fats are created during a process called hydrogenation, where liquid vegetable oils are turned into solids to make margarine creamier and more shelf-stable. This process also makes the fat dangerous. It raises bad cholesterol, clogs your arteries, and increases your risk of heart attacks and strokes. And it doesn't stop there. Many plant-based spreads and vegetable creams also contain refined oils, artificial preservatives, and additives that promote inflammation. Chronic inflammation is now recognized as a major driver behind heart disease, insulin resistance, and type 2 diabetes. What's worse, when margarine is heated during cooking, it can release toxic compounds that harm your cells and speed up aging in the body. That means every time you use it to bake, fry, or sauté, you could be taking in chemicals that quietly interfere with your heart's function and your body's natural repair systems. It may seem like a harmless switch, but over time, margarine and similar processed spreads can do real damage beneath the surface. Number 8. Refined breads and pasta. If you love the warmth of a fresh baguette in the morning or a comforting plate of pasta at dinner, it might be time to take a closer look at how these foods are really affecting your heart. Most white bread and regular pasta are made from refined flour. And during that refining process, the fiber and key nutrients are stripped away, leaving behind a high glycemic food that spikes your blood sugar quickly and encourages fat storage deep inside the abdomen. When we eat too many of these refined carbs, the body responds by pumping out more insulin to manage the flood of sugar in the bloodstream. Over time, that constant demand can lead to insulin resistance, a major risk factor for type 2 diabetes and obesity, both of which are tightly linked to heart disease. Excess glucose from these foods can also be converted into triglyceridase, a type of fat that can clog arteries and strain your heart. And here's the catch. These refined carbs keep you full for long. You might feel satisfied for a little while, but not long after finishing a plate of pasta or a couple slices of white bread, that hunger creeps back in. It becomes easy to overeat, which leads to weight gain, especially around the belly, and raises your risk for high blood pressure and cardiovascular problems. Even products that are labeled whole grain can be misleading. Many still contain mostly white flour, with just a small amount of whole wheat mixed in, and often added sugars too. If you truly want to protect your heart, look for quality carbs. Think 100% whole grain bread, brown rice, quinoa, or sweet potatoes. These foods are rich in fiber, help slow down sugar absorption, and keep you full longer, so you're not constantly reaching for the next snack. And we're getting even closer to revealing the worst heart-harming food of all. Stay with me. It's coming soon. Number 7. Industrial sweets and packaged treats. If you're someone who can't resist a stuffed cookie, a slice of frosted cake, or a scoop of ice cream after dinner, you're not alone. But it might be time to take a closer look at what those sweet little habits are doing to your heart. Packaged sweets are one of the most dangerous combinations for cardiovascular health because they bring together two heavy hitters, refined sugar and trans fats. That duo creates a perfect storm, raising your risk for obesity, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. Refined sugar causes sharp spikes in blood sugar, which forces your pancreas to pump out large amounts of insulin to bring things back under control. When this cycle repeats over and over, it can lead to insulin resistance, one of the key pathways to diabetes, and in turn, a much higher risk of heart attacks and strokes. On top of that, the extra sugar floating in your system gets converted into triglycerides, a type of fat that can build up in your arteries and slow down blood flow. But the danger doesn't stop at sugar and fat. These treats are also packed with synthetic ingredients, artificial colors, preservatives, and flavorings. At first glance, they seem harmless, but regular consumption can trigger chronic inflammation and put strain on your liver and kidneys. Over time, this toxic buildup can interfere with how your body processes fat and sugar further, increasing your risk of serious heart complications. So what can you do? The best move for your heart is to cut way back on these ultra-processed sweets and swap them for smarter indulgences. Try dark chocolate with a high cocoa content, homemade treats made from real ingredients, or even naturally sweet dried fruits. These options satisfy your cravings while offering nutrients instead of just empty calories. Your heart deserves better fuel, and you're one step closer to discovering the worst food of all for your heart. It's coming soon, so stay with me. Number 6, fast food. If there's one type of food that combines nearly every threat to your heart in a single meal, it's fast food. Think about it. Burgers, fries, chicken nuggets, and pizza from your typical fast food chain are loaded with saturated fats, trans fats, hidden sugars, and artificial additives. They're quick, tasty, and everywhere. But what they're doing to your heart can be lasting and, in some cases, irreversible. Let's start with the fats. Most fast food is deep-fried in reused oils, which not only adds unhealthy trans fats, but also creates toxic compounds that fuel inflammation throughout your body. These fats raise bad cholesterol and stiffen your arteries, putting you at greater risk for heart attacks and strokes. And it doesn't stop there. The saturated fats in these meals can lead to fat buildup in your liver, disrupting its natural detox functions. Meanwhile, the sodium levels in fast food are sky-high, used to preserve flavor and extend shelf life. That excess salt leads to water retention and high blood pressure, placing even more stress on your heart. Then come the sauces and condiments. Many are packed with hidden sugars, turning an already heavy meal into an even more dangerous one. And it's not just the main course. The buns are usually made with refined flour that spikes your blood sugar, pushing your insulin levels into overdrive. Add a sugary soda, often full of artificial sweeteners or corn syrup, and you've got a meal that practically invites inflammation, insulin resistance, and metabolic chaos. The truth is, it's not just about burgers and fries. It's the full combo that makes fast food such a serious threat to your heart health. If you're serious about protecting your body, one of the smartest choices you can make is to cut back, or, better yet, cut out fast food from your regular routine. Your heart will thank you for every meal you skip. Number 5, energy drinks. Energy drinks are often marketed as a quick fix to help you stay sharp, get more done, or push through a long day. But what they don't advertise is the real cost, especially to your heart. These highly stimulating beverages are packed with caffeine, sugar, and other compounds that can drive up your heart rate and blood pressure. And unlike a simple cup of coffee, which contains around 80 milligrams of caffeine, some energy drinks deliver more than 300 milligrams in a single can. That kind of dose can lead to rapid heartbeat, jitteriness, and in sensitive individuals, 7 irregular heart rhythms. For those already at risk for cardiovascular problems, it can be outright dangerous. But it's not just the caffeine. Most energy drinks are also loaded with sugar or artificial sweeteners. That sugar surge spikes blood sugar levels, promotes insulin resistance, and pushes your body toward metabolic disorders. Meanwhile, the artificial sweeteners used in sugar-free options can disrupt your gut microbiome and put added strain on your liver, both of which can negatively affect heart health over time. Then there's the combination effect. Caffeine is often blended with other stimulants like taurine and guarana. These may amplify caffeine's impact on your nervous system, further increasing the risk of overstimulating your heart. Studies have linked regular energy drink consumption to higher blood pressure and a greater risk of serious cardiac events, including heart attacks and strokes. If you find yourself reaching for energy drinks just to get through the day, there's a better way. Choose natural energy sources like water, unsweetened tea, or nutrient-rich whole foods. Balanced meals with complex carbs and protein can fuel your body without pushing your heart into overdrive. Your energy doesn't have to come at the cost of your heart. You've got options and your body will thank you for making the switch. Number 4. Sugary breakfast cereals. If your morning starts with a colorful bowl of crunchy cereal, it might be time to rethink what you're actually feeding your body and your heart. Many breakfast cereals are marketed as healthy and nutritious, but the truth is, most of them are loaded with sugar, refined grains, and chemical additives that can quietly harm your cardiovascular health. One of the biggest issues with these cereals is their high glycemic index. That means they cause a rapid spike in blood sugar as soon as you eat them. And as we've discussed before, repeated blood sugar spikes can lead to insulin resistance and elevated triglyceride levels, both major risk factors for heart disease. To make matters worse, many popular brands sweeten their cereals with high-fructose corn syrup and artificial sweeteners. These additives don't just contribute to weight gain, they also trigger inflammation in the arteries, reduce blood flow, and raise your blood pressure over time. Long-term consumption of these products can accelerate atherosclerosis, the buildup of fatty plaques in the arteries that restrict blood flow to the heart. Another concern? The artificial colors and preservatives often used in these cereals. While technically approved for consumption, some of these compounds have been linked to metabolic issues, chronic inflammation, and even negative effects on function. And when consumed daily, the cumulative impact can be far greater than most people realize. If you want to support heart health and feel steady energy throughout your day, it's time to ditch the sugary cereals. Opt for real nourishment like steel-cut oats, unsweetened homemade granola, or whole grain cereals rich in fiber, protein, and healthy fats. These foods help regulate blood sugar, keep you feeling full longer, and give your heart the steady fuel it needs. Small changes at breakfast can make a big difference for your heart. Number 3. Whole milk and dairy products. Whole milk and full-fat dairy products like cheese, butter, and cream are staples in many diets around the world. And while they do offer calcium and protein, there's another side to the story that's especially important if you're watching your heart health. These foods are high in saturated fat, which has been shown to raise LDL cholesterol, the bad kind. When LDL levels climb, that cholesterol can start to build up in your arteries, forming plaques that restrict blood flow. Over time, this increases your risk of heart attacks and strokes. Some research suggests that the impact of saturated fat on heart health may depend on overall diet and lifestyle. But most experts still recommend moderation, especially for those already at risk. And it's not just about cholesterol. Full-fat dairy products are also calorie-dense. If consumed in large amounts, especially alongside a sedentary lifestyle, they can contribute to weight gain and eventually lead to metabolic syndrome. That's a condition marked by obesity, high blood pressure, insulin resistance, and chronic inflammation, all of which can place serious strain on your heart. Another factor to consider is what's often added to industrial dairy. Many commercial dairy products may contain hormones or antibiotics used in livestock production. Over time, those compounds can interfere with your body's natural hormonal balance and potentially contribute to long-term health issues. Some studies also point to a link between high dairy consumption and increased inflammation, something we know plays a key role in the development of heart disease. If you're looking to protect your heart, one smart move is to switch to low-fat or lactose-free dairy products. Even better, try incorporating more plant-based calcium sources like almond milk, oat milk, or tofu. These options can offer the same nutritional benefits without the added risks tied to saturated fats. It's not about cutting dairy completely, it's about making choices that help your heart work a little easier day by day. Number 2. Store-bought sauces and condiments. If you love ketchup, mayo, barbecue sauce, or other ready-made condiments, it's worth taking a closer look at the labels. because what's hiding inside might surprise you. These sauces are meant to add flavor, but many are loaded with sugar, sodium, and unhealthy fats that can quietly damage your heart over time. Let's start with sugar. 1 tablespoon of ketchup can contain up to 4 grams of sugar. That's about the same as a sugar cube. It may not seem like much, but it adds up fast, especially when you use these sauces with every meal. That added sugar leads to blood sugar spikes, weight gain, and elevated triglycerides, which are known to clog arteries and raise the risk of heart disease. Then there's sodium. Most commercial sauces are packed with salt to boost taste and shelf life. Too much sodium causes your body to retain water, which raises blood pressure and puts added strain on your heart. Studies show that people who consume a high-sodium diet are at significantly greater risk of hypertension, a major contributor to heart attacks and strokes. Another concern? High-fructose corn syrup. This common sweetener is found in many bottled sauces and has been linked to visceral fat buildup, inflammation, and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Since it's processed in the liver, overconsumption can disrupt cholesterol metabolism and further increase cardiovascular risk. And it doesn't stop there. Many store-bought sauces contain artificial preservatives, flavor enhancers like monosodium glutamate, MSG, and synthetic coloring agents. These additives can interfere with your metabolism and contribute to chronic, low-grade inflammation, a silent force that wears down your cardiovascular system over time. So, what can you do? One of the best ways to protect your heart is to make your sauces at home using natural ingredients. Homemade ketchup, mayo, or barbecue sauce lets you control how much sugar, salt, and fat goes in and keeps harmful additives out. If homemade isn't an option, look for cleaner label versions with fewer additives and simpler ingredients. Your heart will notice the difference. And now, it's time for the final reveal. The single worst food for your heart is up next. Number 1. Bacon and processed. Place is nearly irresistible. It's bacon. You'll find it at breakfast, tucked inside burgers, layered on pizzas, and featured in gourmet dishes. It's crispy, flavorful, and familiar, but behind the sizzle lies a serious threat to your heart. Like other processed meat sausages, deli ham, salami, mortadella, and hot dogs, bacon is packed with saturated fat, sodium, and chemical preservatives. And that combination is one of the most dangerous for cardiovascular health. Let's start with the fat. Bacon contains high levels of saturated fat, which raise LDL cholesterol, bad, kind, and drive the formation of plaque inside your arteries. That buildup leads to a condition called atherosclerosis, where arteries stiffen and narrow, making it harder for blood to flow and increasing your risk of heart attack and stroke. But that's not all. Processed meats are calorie-dense, and when consumed often, they contribute to weight gain and metabolic syndrome, a cluster of conditions including high blood pressure, insulin resistance, and inflammation that are all tightly connected to heart disease. And then there are the chemical preservatives, nitrites and nitrates, used to preserve the meat's color and flavor. When these compounds are exposed to high heat during cooking, they can convert into nitrosamines, which are highly inflammatory and potentially cancer-causing. That inflammation doesn't just raise cancer risk, it also puts your heart in danger. And of course, there's the salt. Processed meats are often heavily salted to enhance taste and extend shelf life. Too much sodium leads to high blood pressure, one of the biggest risk factors for heart attacks and strokes. Studies have consistently shown that people who regularly eat processed meats face a significantly higher risk of hypertension and heart disease. So what can you do? Start by cutting back or eliminating bacon and other processed meats from your diet. Choose cleaner sources of protein like eggs, grilled chicken, or fish. And if you love that smoky flavor, try seasoning and slow roasting your own meats at home with herbs and spices. Small changes like these can make a big difference, just in how you feel today, long and well you live tomorrow. If you'd like to keep getting the best health tips to support your heart and your life, make sure to hit that subscribe button. This channel exists for one reason: to help you feel better, move easier, and live longer with the energy and freedom you deserve, helping you live a stronger, healthier life. That's my mission. In the video showing on your screen right now, I reveal the one fruit you should avoid because it may quietly increase your risk of stroke. Click to watch it now, and I'll see you there.